All right, good afternoon, everybody. Happy Friday. The weekend is quickly approaching. This is Jason Leva with the Fort Worth Community Arts Center. We'd like to welcome you to another episode of Boxed Lunch here at the Fort Worth Community Arts Center. We have another fabulous food and beverage artisan with us today and are so grateful that he took the time. So, ladies and gentlemen, please help me in welcoming the one and only Anthony Parrotta. How are you doing today, Anthony?
I'm good, Jason. Thanks for having me on today.
Absolutely. We are so grateful that you took the time and decided to have lunch with me today.
Absolutely.
Another weekend is upon us, and oh my goodness, every time I think things are starting to settle down, they just seem to pick back up again. So should be an interesting news cycle this weekend. And how are you doing out there?
Oh, doing pretty good, man. Making it day to day. Just, doing what I
Living the
can.
dream, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Awesome. Anthony, before we get started, would you mind just kind of introducing yourself and telling us a little bit about who you are and what it is you do?
Yeah, so my name is Anthony Parrotta. I'm a Fort Worth local here, born and raised. And let's see, so I moved away after high school, of course, went to college and started playing a little bit of music in Austin, and then found the coffee world, coffee trade. And so, yeah, I fell in love with it pretty quick and did a lot of stuff in the coffee world. And now here I am in Fort Worth, opened up Enduro Coffee Roasters. And we specialize in wholesale coffee for restaurants and cafes and kind of anyone and everyone that may need a cup of coffee.
Everybody needs a cup of coffee.
I agree. Yeah, pretty essential.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So how long have you been roasting as Enduro?
Enduro, we've been open a little more than 2 years now.
Gotcha. Very nice. I'm gonna give you a plug as well. I tried it myself. I had a nice little cup of your straight razor blend. I've been drinking it for a couple of days now. Just wanted to make sure that I could build it up as much as it deserves. So hats off. It is absolutely fabulous, and I certainly have enjoyed it, and helped me get ready with my lunch today. I had a little bit of pre-prep to do. So in saying that, what is on your lunch menu today? And tell me a little bit about the fabulous ingredients you use to make it.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, we're keeping it simple today. Something that I think most people probably have laying around the house they can make, grilled cheese. So we have a thick sliced bread we're using today that I think works out best for the grilled cheese. Some sharp cheddar. You can use any kind of cheeses that you have laying around, of course. Combined cheeses if you want to do 2 cheese or 3 cheese, even a 4 cheese sandwich. I don't know. I'm going to add a little bit of tomato, fresh tomato here. And then, just some pepper, some garlic salt, a few oregano leaves, and some butter. That's pretty much about it. Yeah. I've got some things preheating here, kind of getting ready. We'll toast the bread. And then I've got a griddle here you can see there, so that we can keep everything right here in front of the camera for you guys.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Sounds delicious. I love a good old-fashioned grilled cheese.
That's right, man.
So,
Who does?
nice. Well, I'm going a little different route today. I figured I've had some sandwiches in the past few days, so I thought maybe I should step it up to see if I can't cause a little havoc on the stove today.
Okay.
So I'm going with a Southwest skillet. I'm not sure that's really the right terminology, but I'm going to call it that today, and we'll see how it goes. So,
That's good.
and for my ingredients, I've got some potatoes, which I fried a little earlier. I've got some rotel, which I'm assuming that's what gives it the Southwest skillet nomenclature. We'll see.
Uh-huh.
And then I also have some chicken strips that I pre-fried a little bit. and I'll be throwing that all together. So I'll let you know that my potatoes are already done. They're nice and golden brown there. And then I've got my chicken right here, and then my cheese as well, which I don't even count as an ingredient because I put it in everything. So I just assume everybody uses it for whatever they do. And then,
Oh, yeah.
of course, the Rotel you can't go wrong with. And that's pretty much it for me. I'm going to throw it in the skillet, burn it, and then I've got a little secret ingredient I'll talk about here in a minute, and we'll see how my Southwest skillet turns out. So,
Okay.
you ready to get to it?
Yeah, I'm ready, man.
Awesome. All right, we'll start warming up your griddle there. And as we move through our lunch, I'm going to turn the heat up on my skillet as well and put a few things in there. While we're doing all that, I was wondering if you wouldn't mind talking a little bit about how your organization or the roasting industry in general has been affected by and reacting to the COVID-19 pandemic.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, like every other thing, it's been affected greatly by the pandemic, without a doubt. The service industry has suffered quite a bit. All these businesses shutting down, letting go of their workers, I think has been a big obstacle for people, and trying to make ends meet, of course, while all that's taking place. So yeah, for us, we're wholesalers. Business pretty much shut down completely. We do some retail stuff online, but we don't have a traditional cafe where people walk in and get a cup of coffee and sit down maybe. So we just shut down, our walk-in side, or like, we just locked the doors, put a note on the door and said that, if you need anything, just give us a call. And then we were processing online orders, just doing some retail stuff here and there, sending out the door in the mail. We started offering a local delivery service for those people who didn't want to get out of their homes, but still wanted some coffee and didn't want to maybe pay shipping for it. Well, I've got some extra time now. I don't mind running it over to your place. So that's been something that we've made some adjustments on that have helped out until the wholesale side picks up again.
Gotcha. So,
Yeah.
so I'm curious. In my head, I'm assuming that the coffee beans are being shipped, and then you're roasting those beans, adding your own flavor and flair to that. How has that been? How has that affected your business in terms of receiving the actual product to continue roasting them yourselves?
Well, coffee supply has still been there. Coincidentally, we placed our largest coffee order, raw coffee order, the beginning of March. So then we just kind of had a warehouse full of coffee sitting around that we couldn't do anything with. So getting the coffee hasn't been a problem for us. It's just, processing the coffee and then getting rid of it ultimately. So yeah, that for us has been the biggest thing. I don't think the coffee supply, has been an issue for anyone. Our suppliers are there and their warehouses are full. We order from a few different places around the U.S. Of course, they're importing coffee from all over the world.
Right.
As far as the farm side goes, I haven't heard much about the farmers or the workers being affected to a point where they're having trouble processing green coffee. Yeah.
Well, I got to be honest. That's a fear of mine. I think I can live without toilet paper, but I'm not sure I can live without coffee. So
Hey, I'm right there with you, man. I don't know what I would do. Yeah.
I'm glad the supply lines are still open because I don't know what I'd do.
Yeah. I have to have a couple cups of coffee in the morning before I'm even a real person. It's
Absolutely.
night and day.
I'm sure you've seen the Snickers commercial where the person eats the Snickers and then turns back into themselves. That's
Yep.
totally how I am. Sometimes I just get it to chew on the coffee beans. So it is my lifeblood, and I'm glad that the lifeline is still flowing, because that would certainly send me over the edge in today's current climate. I don't know if I'd be able.
Yeah, for sure.
So, all right, my friend. So as we begin our lunch preparation here, you want to talk a little bit about how you prep these fabulous grilled cheeses and what the process is to get it all started?
Yeah, sure, man. So, prepping, I've cut some cheese here. We've got some sharp cheddar on the plate, front board. I've got this lovely fresh tomato that I'm about to thinly slice. And then I'm actively toasting the bread. I think toasting the bread preps it for the skillet, and keeps your bread consistency there. Sometimes when you make grilled cheese, it'll flatten out and it'll be all soggy, and for whatever reason, you don't know what happened, but that tends to prevent that from happening, the toasting of the bread. Yeah. So that's what we're doing right now. We're toasting bread. I'm about to cut this tomato, and I've already cut the cheese. Prepping is pretty simple here. I'm preheating the pan. You want to do a low heat for grilled cheese. And just give it some time to really heat up, and then toast that bread. You don't want to do it too quick, because then your cheese probably won't melt and your bread will get too hot and burn.
Nice.
Yeah, those are my 2 cents on the grilled cheese, and
Well,
then I'll walk through it as we do it. Yeah, I'll go ahead and start cutting this tomato.
Awesome. Well, while you're doing that, I'll tell you a little bit. I'm going with the high heat to start. So I pre-fried the potatoes. That can take a while. It's important that you set some time for that. And a little tip on the fried potatoes is to make sure you soak them in some water for about 30 minutes before you transpose them into the pan. Just put a little oil in, high heat, but it does take about 30 minutes to fry potatoes. So after that was all done, I went ahead and put the rotel in with the potatoes first, and then I'm going to turn the heat back up again to just try to get some of that liquid that's in the rotel to burn off and then kind of soak up into those potatoes. And I'll do that first before I throw in the chicken and the cheese. So it's pretty easy on this end as well after you get the potatoes and the chicken done. But it is important to kind of burn off some of that liquid from the rotel so you don't get mushy potatoes. You still want them a little bit crunchy, and then it also puts some of that flavor into them as well. All right, so while we're prepping up here, I was curious if you'd speak a little bit about what it is you've learned about yourself or your organization during all of this trying time.
Yeah, so about myself, I mean, I kind of underestimated, I think, what human contact in that day-to-day interaction does for your soul and your energy. Of course, it's been months now, and I haven't hardly hugged anyone. There's been no handshakes, of course, and yeah, it's a bit bizarre to even visit some of my family and not be able to give them a hug. So definitely missing that. About the organization, I guess we had all our eggs in one basket, right? We're a wholesaler, and so when you take away that, what have we got? Well, we don't have a whole lot left. So just trying to branch out and make the business, a little more diverse, and reaching out to different avenues of the coffee world, and facilitating people's needs other places, basically. Yeah.
Gotcha. Very nice. So what's become your focus, or one of the ways or one of the many ways that you've learned to pass the time during all of this stay-at-home sheltering and so much more isolation in your life? What have you found has helped you pass the time or become some of the things that you've started to enjoy doing?
Yeah, definitely being outside more. Um, I love the outdoors, always have. But this time being home has allowed me to get out and do a little bit more gardening, um, planting trees and landscaping has been kind of a zen for me. And then just like, man, taking a walk, like I think I underestimated walking. Um, it's, it seems something like so simple, but my wife and I have been getting out and taking long walks, and it's just good for the soul. It's good for your mind, and it's good for your health, of course, and just get out and kind of deflate. There's a lot going on in the world right now, and sitting home, you got the TV, you got your social media, and it can be pretty overwhelming, bombarded with all this news, media, and stuff at all hours. So yeah, just taking a step back and getting some fresh air, I guess, has been the best. A little bit of meditation and reading. Been reading a bit more. So those have been the things for me that have been kind of my go-tos during quarantine.
Gotcha. Any good book suggestions? What's the most recent thing you've read?
Oh, man, what am I reading? Well, we've recently had a baby. We have an 8-month-old child now. So
congratulations!
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a blessing in disguise to be able to stay home with the newborn during this time. So I've been reading a lot of baby books.
Dr. Seuss, all the
Yeah.
way.
Oh yeah. And other books I'm usually reading. I was reading the Keith Richards life book. Music is a passion of mine, so of course that's there. Yeah.
And so you had said that you had played in some bands a while back in Austin. Do you still play? What instrument? And are you still taking part in that yourself?
Yeah, so I still play music, of course. Now that I'm back in Fort Worth, all my bandmates basically still live in Austin, and kind of dispersed our projects. I'm not actively playing in any bands, but I play bass guitar, and since quarantine, I've been playing more 6-string guitar. Something I can do, on my own. There's only so much bass that I can play by myself. So, yeah, I'm sitting around, I'm writing music and playing music, and I still like to support the local music scene as much as possible. Of course, it's tough now, but um, I'm on social media, is following these guys, and maybe they'll do a little like live show through the internet.
Sure.
And, purchasing music and stuff like that. Whatever I can do to help.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So how's your meal prep
Yeah.
coming there? You got your griddle hot, and I was wondering if you had any secret ingredients or preparation tips to assure deliciousness.
Yeah, sure. So right now I'm buttering the bread. Do a nice generous layer of butter here on this toasted bread now, lightly toasted. And then I would say, a secret ingredient for me is the garlic salt. Once this bad boy is on the griddle here, I'll sprinkle some of that garlic salt on there, and then flip it, do a little bit more, and it just adds a nice flavor profile to the sandwich. And of course, depending on what you've got at home, you can add whatever you want to the sandwich. I may throw bacon on here at another time. We're out of bacon, so I'm not going to do that today. Trying to limit our trips to the store, and I figured I didn't need to go to the store just for a pack of bacon. So
that's very true. Sometimes cheese is all it takes in this world.
that's right, man. So yeah, I've got it all heated up. I'm gonna throw the first piece down, and it's gonna be butter side to the griddle. There we go. Maybe hear that sizzle.
Oh yeah.
And then yeah, just start placing your cheese on there. Thinly sliced cheese or shredded cheese will work. Again, I'm using cheddar just because that's what we had around. Any cheeses will do, mostly.
Very nice. Well, I'll let you in on mine. So I'm gonna show you how that heat there cooked off most of that that liquid in there, and
Okay, yeah.
you can kind of see what those potatoes are turning a little bit red there. So I'm gonna turn down the heat just a little bit on mine, and then I'm just gonna take that chicken and throw it in there, and then I'm gonna wait just a minute on the cheese, and I'm gonna see if I can finish up that chicken there with some of that liquid absorbent into it. And while that's cooking up, I'm going to show you my little secret ingredient here, which I just found. And Trader Joe's is great. And they've got a chili onion crunch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And what it is olive oil, dried garlic, and peppers. And it is absolutely delicious. If I can get the lid off, I have found that it adds a really nice crunch to what it is you got there. So it's a real wonderful addition. And so when everything's finished up, I'll just drizzle some of that on top and then mix it up. But it really does add a nice little punch to just about anything, especially pastas and some other dishes as well. So I have found that to be a fabulous addition to the pantry here recently, and glad that I get a chance to try it. So
Yeah, cool.
all right, while you're there grilling there, I was wondering if you wouldn't mind talking a little bit about how do you see the roasting coffee industry? And I know how popular coffee shops have been, coffee in general, especially in regards to being a meeting place and a gathering place. How do you see that particular business or the roasters in general adapting now that businesses are starting to reopen? And where do you see that going in the future?
Yeah, so a lot of adaptations to people's setups that I've seen has been, just like the walk up, pick up window. I think we'll see a lot more of the curbside services sticking around. It's going to take a little bit, I think, for people to become totally comfortable with hanging out in cafes and in like close quarters with groups of people again. So definitely the curbside has been a big addition. And then installing, if the business doesn't already have like a pickup window, just to have a little window to walk up to, and even drive-through services. But people are going to get comfortable, and hopefully there'll be a vaccine in another year or so, and people can congregate again in the cafes. Cafes are a great setup, man, for people to come together, bring the community together. It's like you said, a meeting place to catch up with friends or to do some homework or to study or whatever it is. We may see cafes implementing a little bit more space within those cafes. So like spacing out the tables, but other than that, man, I think the cafe setup will stay relatively the same. Yeah, it'll
Now,
just
I
take.
noticed in some of your literature that I was looking at, you had some plans to open a coffee shop yourself. Is that still on the table, and are those plans still in place, looking ahead to the future?
Yeah, yeah, of course. We'd love to have a cafe of our own. And the goal was to have a place by April of next year. So, about this time of next year.
Right.
Um, that'll probably be postponed a little bit. Um, this whole thing will probably push things back a little bit. But we're still shooting for a cafe next year. And maybe not so much a cafe. It's just like a place to go to get coffee and walk in and pick up like a restaurant supply with cafe stuff, right?
Gotcha.
Yeah. So we probably won't have a ton of tables, and it probably won't be like a Starbucks or a place to go in and like do homework and hang out for a while. But we will have a place for people to come by, like brewing equipment, brewing needs, maybe espresso needs, filters, pour over stuff, anything like that, grinders. So I'm going to flip this sandwich now. Okay. Yeah, probably now that everything's taken place, I'd like to offer an outside seating arrangement for people that do want to hang out, can hang out outside, and also feel a little bit more safe about it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Definitely still in the works is that a cafe, and hopefully sometime in the near future we'll have a place for people to come into our roastery and tour the facility, do a tasting. Right now we're just not really set up for that.
Right.
Yeah, we're wholesaling. We have a warehouse, we have a roaster, obviously, and a prep room, but it's not prettied up. It's just a nice, clean environment where we can process coffee, but at the same time, it doesn't really facilitate inviting people in and showing them around. Yeah, so that'd be the biggest thing. I'd love to be able to host people and even give courses and coffee education. Yeah.
Yeah, it all sounds great. I would be very interested in that myself. I'm always trying to figure out how to make a better cup of coffee myself. So, in regards to food and culture, what item or food venue are you most looking forward to indulging in once you feel comfortable enough to get back out and around?
Man, I love just going out to eat with people. The spontaneous, like, hey, you want to go grab a bite kind of thing. The whole experience to me is great. I don't know about any single thing. I guess lately I've been craving ramen, and I don't know why, but probably because I can't have it. And most everything else you can figure out, but like ramen to go, I don't know. Like it just doesn't seem the same to me.
Yeah, it just doesn't quite hold that same power, does it?
Yeah. So that's one big one I've been craving.
Gotcha. Do you have a favorite ramen place that you go to?
I go to Oni. It's on what, 7th?
Yep.
Yeah, that's my go-to. I hadn't been to too many other places in town. Had a couple places in Austin that I liked, and Oni seems to do the trick.
Very nice. Yes, I've been there myself, and they certainly make a pretty nice bowl of ramen. So, how you coming on your grilled cheese there? I'm gonna go ahead and dump my cheese on and let it just kind of set up a little bit and melt. And
nice. Yeah, I've added the tomato, and I added a little black pepper, and Then I put the second piece of bread on top, and I sprinkle the garlic salt over that. Done one flip here, looking pretty toasty on one side, and I'm just letting that cheese melt now.
Nice.
You guys,
Bring mine up to the camera here and let you take a look at it as well. So I just kind of, I call it the skillet because it's all in there. And then I just keep kind of pushing it up together, then drop that cheese on. And I'm going to let that set as well for just a little minute while that heat cools off. And then we'll move on to our plating and final presentation. So while we're waiting on all that to finish up, I was wondering if you had any helpful community resources that you are seeing or using, and how can your organization be assisted or provide assistance to other organizations or people out in the community?
Yeah, so Fort Worth has recently offered a small business grant for businesses in town. They're taking applications right now. That may be closing soon. So check that out for anyone interested. And then, whatever we can do to help, I don't know. One thing that we've been doing is offering private label bags for people to do and to sell to help supplement some income.
Nice.
That bag that you picked up at the local barber, that's an example of the private label bags we've been doing. So yeah, the local barber hadn't traditionally sold coffee, but seemed like a good idea for him to do. Put his logo on there, put it on the shelf, and then when anyone comes in for a haircut, hey, there's a bag of coffee. You tack whatever that may be onto the bill, and there you go. He's making just a little bit more money per customer per visit. That's something we've done quite a bit for people lately, and it seems to be helping out. John over there at the local barber, awesome dude, man. He's sold a ton of coffee. I don't know how he's doing it, but good for him. And I'm glad. And I'm glad that he's benefiting from that, and we're benefiting from that. And that's about all you can ask for, right?
Absolutely. And that's how we get through this, is helping each other out and making sure we are doing all we can to support one another any and every way we can. So it's going to be critical and crucial. And, I know a lot of people think we might be over the hump and things are going to start easing off, but I don't know. The more I see, the more I think we got a little bit more hand-holding coming up in terms of supporting one another and staying patient to really be able to make sure that everything is continuing to be safe out there and watching out for not only ourselves, but also the other people around us. So, all right, my friend, go ahead.
I was just going to say, all the local businesses, all the little guys, everyone out there just looking after one another. I think that's the biggest thing. Everyone doing their part is going to go a long way. And if we can just hunker down and keep pressing forward, we'll be through this thing in no time. It's tough, no doubt, but yeah.
Absolutely. All right, so are you ready to move on to final plating and presentation?
I think so. Let's do it.
All right, so I'm going to start plating mine up here as well. And while we're doing that, I was wondering if you had any tips or tricks to stay sane mentally or physically during all of this. I noticed you mentioned a little bit of meditation and stuff. Anything else you've got to take care of your mind and your body?
Coffee, for one, of course. And then I would just say, yeah, like I kind of touched on earlier, exercising, man, get out, take a walk. Get out of the house, man. Just like whatever you can do. Go to a state park. Get outside, do some yoga, do some meditation. Mind and body you take care of those, and you'll be feeling good. Limit your TV time, limit your media time, limit the social media time. That stuff's poison. I mean, we all need to be educated and stay up to date, no doubt. But inundating yourself with all those images, it can be overwhelming for sure, and it take a toll on your mental health. Getting out there, reaching out to friends, staying connected to loved ones. I would say those are the biggest things.
Yes, certainly does make a difference, mentally and physically as well. And I couldn't agree more in terms of knowing when to shut off the noise wherever it's coming from, and really listen to what's going on with your heart and your head can make all the difference in the world. And having a good day or a bad day. And, perceptions and perspectives are everything. And we've got to learn to stay focused and stay positive. And I agree, more importantly, stay together in all of this. And we will make it through. It may look a little different on the other side, but if we're all watching out for one another, I think we can get through it with as little loss as possible anyway. So indeed. All right, my friend, let's see that final plate. What do you got for me there?
Okay, so grilled cheese is all set here. You can see there, it's nicely toasted. Cut it down the center. We got a little bit of cheese melting out there. We got a little bit of thinly sliced tomatoes in there, so it's easy to bite through. That garlic salt, finely powdered on top. And man, that's ready to enjoy.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so here we go with mine, Southwest Skillet. I got to say, I'm a little impressed here. So I got my chicken there and the potatoes and the rotel, and it's kind of hard to see, but you can tell there's a little bit of that drizzle stuff that I talked about, the crunch, chili and onion crunch. So I got to say, it's not too bad there. Cheese melted nice, and I think the chicken reached 180 in the center. So
yeah, perfect.
All right, Anthony, I got one more question for you, and this is probably the most important one of the day. How and where can we find you, support you, and keep up with what's going on in your life?
Oh, yeah. Well, of course, social media, Enduro Coffee. We're on Instagram mostly, and Facebook. We have a presence, of course. And then our website, endurocoffee.com. We've got a banner at the top of the page that kind of keep you up to date with any kind of promos that we're running, or maybe any farmers markets we may be at. The farmers market that we have been involved with hasn't started back up, but you just check that site, endurocoffee.com, and that'll tell you whether or not we're going to be there. It's Lola's. We do the thing at Lola's Saloon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we've been doing their farmers markets for I guess close to 2 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, real great people over there.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's a good little scene to be in on. And then, I welcome anyone to stop by our shop. We've kind of changed up our setup because of COVID, but we keep our bay door open, and we have a table out there with a tent. A big marker board with some of the things that we're offering. So anyone that comes by can get an iced latte or a mocha or something like that, and or buy any freshly roasted coffee. Yeah, so come on by anytime. I'm there Monday to Friday, about 9 to 5. Maybe give me a call before you head on over, because it's just me. And I may be out running deliveries, to different places around town. So it's best to call. But if I'm there, man, I'd love to have you, and I'd love to help you out in any way.
Well, I'll put my mask on and I'll come over as soon as I get finished with this bag. I'll come refresh myself and visit you in person as well. I promise I'll stay 6 feet away. You can just throw the bag to me. I'll throw you my credit card, and we'll stay safe with each other.
Perfect. Yeah, we've got a little table out there. We put the orders out on, and yeah, we're maintaining our social distancing for sure.
Awesome. Anthony,
Yeah,
I can't thank you enough for taking the time and having lunch with me today.
of course. Thank
So,
you, Jason.
yeah, with that being said, lift up your plate. We'll take a little bite and sign off. That
Yeah.
wraps it up for another edition of Box Lunch here at the Fort Worth Community Arts Center. Anything you'd like to add, Anthony, to the world out there as you take a bite there?
Enjoy your grilled cheese.
There you go. All right. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram. We've got some great stuff over on YouTube as well. And with that being said, everybody, please stay safe out there. Have a wonderful weekend. Take care of yourselves. Take care of everybody else around you. Wear your masks. Wash your hands. And we'll be back on Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody. Bye-bye.
See you guys.
Not bad. I did a good one today.